everyone. Welcome to North and South Homestead. I'm Kim, and this is our homestead. We do normal stuff around here all the time. Okay, today's video. Let's talk about putting your money where your assets are. Okay, the best kind of assets to have in this day and time, where things are uncertain how it's going to be tomorrow, a week from now, or a month from now. What we do know is that a lot of things are trying to be forced upon people, whether it's because someone else just doesn't like that thing, or because of control issues. Instead of letting people just live their lives the way that they want to, and that is within the laws and rights and freedoms. So, let's not get too deep in manure here. But one of those assets are fruit trees. Now, we don't have a huge orchard here. We're not a large family here. So, for us to plant acres and acres of fruit trees would make no sense to us. But you do what works for you. Fruit trees ensures that you have fresh fruit, fresh vitamins, and you can store them and prepare them in all kinds of different ways to last throughout the year. Now, you can have money sitting in the bank that's basically useless or going to be useless. Inflation keeps rising, our dollar value goes down all the time. Or you could put it in something that will give you food year after year after year. What do you think the best option is? We think having things physically in our possession that will sustain us and help us is a better use of our money than sticking it in a bank and watching it dwindle down to nothing and then have nothing. And so security is a wonderful thing to have. Food security in particular. Another good place to put your money is, and where your mouth is going to be, is in your livestock. We don't have a big ranch to where we can run hundreds of cattle, but we're also a small family and we don't do it for the money. Old Texas here isn't going to be here much longer, but where he will be is in various preservation ways for us to consume later on. Now, I don't know about you, but if you've been to the supermarket anytime recently, then you've seen the prices of meat. They're wanting you to buy the whole cow, honey. For that 5 pounds of this and 5 pounds of that. Anyway. Hey, Texas. Dazzle, our girl cow, she is for milk and future meat production. She should be bred to have us a little baby calf, which will eventually become food for us also. Dazzle will produce our butter and cottage cheese and regular cheese and milk meats and all sorts of other things. A very valuable asset to have. So a lot of people can't go out and just spend $1,000+ on a full-grown cow. Totally understandable. We couldn't either. So we went the bottle baby route. We bought 4 bottle calves and fed them with bottles, weaned them out, and so on and so forth. One, unfortunately, did not survive. She was only here a couple of days and she was gone. Anyone who knows Holstein cows knows that they are born looking for a way to die. It just happens. So 3 survived. 1 went in the freezer last spring, and Texas is getting ready to go into the freezer. And Dazzle we will be keeping. Our original plan, we had 2 girls and 2 boys. Our original plan was to keep both girls, but nature had a different plan. So getting the bottle babies, it was a lot of work. It was over 100 trips to the barn with bottles. But you have that expense if you don't already have a cow and milk that you can give that bottle calf her milk. Then you have to buy the milk replacement, and that can be costly. And then the grain and stuff too, and wean them off, and so on and so forth. But it ends up being around the same cost by the time you're done as it would be to go buy a full-grown cow. Now, we chose that way because we didn't have the money to go out and buy that many cows at one time that were full-grown. So instead, we had a small investment to get the bottle calves, and then from there, you know, their weekly feed and stuff cost. And so it was easier for us to afford that than to go straight for the big cows. Plus, we didn't have a way to haul full-grown cows here either without having to pay someone to haul them for us, because we didn't have a livestock trailer. But we could fit the bottle calves because they were just a few days old in our blazer. And so that's how we actually got them out. So do what works and what you can afford to ensure that you have the right kind of assets on your property for your family when the crap hits the fan. Goats are another great asset to have on your farm or land when the crap hits the fan. Now, I've never personally had goat meat, but if the crap hit the fan, they would definitely be on the menu. Now, these all happen to be little boys that were born this year, and you only need so many boy goats on your land. They're great weed eaters. They help keep the land cleared. They're fun to watch. They're entertaining and enjoyable, and then they serve other purposes for when the crap hits the fan. Shelters are another great asset to have in any kind of situation, but especially for when the crap hits the fan. Even temporary ones like this with a tarp that you're going to have to replace. That is the downfall of building a shelter like this. Now, for us, the reason why we chose to do this instead of putting an actual permanent structure up is because we do have plans to build a new barn. We're just not exactly sure where and how big it's going to be yet. And we want to make sure that we put it in the best place that's going to work the best for us. So temporary is what we went with to get all the hay for the winter covered. Now, all of these cattle panels and posts will all be reused somewhere else on this land. So it's not like we're actually wasting money, except for the tarps, which will not be any good come next year. The sun will take do a number on it. But shelters, go ahead, get them in place now while you can, because the future is uncertain on whether you're going to be able to afford it, whether you're going to be allowed to buy it, whether you're going to be allowed to go pick it up in the first place, and so many other things. When we look at physical assets that we have around here, fencing is a big one. We have electric fence here, which is pretty doggone cheap to put up, about as cheap as you can go, other than barbed wire, but we don't like barbed wire around here for many reasons and many past experiences that we've had with it. But electric fences, the connectors, and T-posts, very valuable to have on your property. We also have a backup fence over here, and that is because of the goats. We have small goats. We don't want them out on the road or down at the neighbor's house eating all their pretty flowers up. So fencing is very important to have, and if you don't have the fencing equipment that you need, all of the items that you need, and you plan on doing some fencing, it would probably be a good idea for you to get the items that you need. You can work on it later when you've got time, but get those items while you can. Because if you can't grow hay fields and you need different paddocks set up to rotate your animals in, that requires fencing. And that could be the difference between you having to get rid of your livestock, butchering your livestock ahead of time, or not being able to feed them at all. So, fencing is a very valuable asset to have for whatever may come. Ducks are another great way to make sure that you have the right kind of assets. Ducks produce fabulously rich eggs. They are a great tasting meat, and they will provide you with a lot of cooking grease. So there you go, another great asset to have that the dollar can't stand up to. Great asset to have that's in your hands, and you don't have to worry about the deflation of the dollar. You can have your own eggs, you can have your own meat, and you can have your own grease to cook with. Sounds like, and bug control too. Sounds like a great asset to have to me. Swimming pools. Although great fun for the kids, it's usually mostly a pain in the butt for the grown-ups, especially when things go wrong. But if the crap hits the fan, a swimming pool is a great thing for you to have on your property, because it's 10,000 gallons or more of water for you to use from your pool. That's a pretty good water storage system right there. Gardens all set up ahead of time is also a great asset to have, especially if you're like me and you need an easy system. You don't have time to keep coming out and picking weeds and retilling and all this other stuff. So, with the weed barrier, you do have costs. The T-posts for trellises, again, you have cost. A fence around it to keep all the animals out from eating all of your hard work vegetables cost money. But when you can't go to the store and get food, it's great to have it. When you can't go get gas to run your tiller, it's great to have it. So you have to weigh the odds too. Your time versus the money that it costs. Your ability to do so. A lot of people cannot get down on the ground or cannot use tillers anymore. It's just too hard and too stressful on their bodies. So finding a different way to do it, whether it be raised beds or weed barrier fabric that helps you get those same goals accomplished, but much easier, well, that's a good place to stick your money. You can see it, you know it every time that you go to the garden to harvest or to plant something. You see your money doing great things for you. So another great way to have assets in your hands, or on your land, on your ground in this case, for if everything just turns pear-shaped. Okay, it's getting dark out. I'm losing the light quickly. It's probably already too dark to see, but if it's not, if you have not subscribed, if you've not subscribed, please do so. Smash the thumbs up button for that stinking YouTube algorithm. Yeah, you know the one. And ring the bell, ding, 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 so you get notified when we upload new videos. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless you.